Good morning. Welcome to Bingham Group's Big Three, top headlines for Austinites and those interested in our city every Monday and Friday. Here's our Big Three stories for today. Austin voters approve reinstating bans on camping, resting, and panhandling. Voters reject Austin's strong mayor proposal. And Austin FC wins for the second time with a 1-0 victory. This is the Big Three. And we start here this morning. Austin has voted to reinstate criminal penalties for behavior related to homelessness. With its passage, Proposition B will restore the city's previous ban on public encampments, prohibition of resting in certain areas, and limitations on panhandling. The citizen-led measure passed handily by a 15-point margin. The measure fueled an unusually large turnout for a May election in an off year. All told, 90,428 voters in Travis, Hayes, and Williamson counties supported the measure, while 66,292 voters opposed it. This all according to unofficial results. The measure is a direct response to Austin's policies related to homelessness. Back in 2019, the Austin City Council voted to soften its policy of ticketing people camping, resting, or panhandling. The effort to get Prop B on the ballot was spearheaded by the political action committee Save Austin Now, which submitted a petition in February to trigger the referendum. The PAC is held by Travis County GOP Chair Mac McCulloch and Cleo Petrasic, a Democrat who has been outspoken against Austin's homelessness policies since 2019 when the city tried to build a shelter in South Austin. Petrasic told KUT she wasn't surprised by the turnout, and she hoped city leaders would take heart of the, quote, rebuke of the current policies. Petrasic said in a quote, "I think what you saw with the election turnout it obviously wasn't a partisan issue, and obviously I was never the only Democrat." She went on to say a lot of Democrats feel the same way. The city failed to roll policies out with a viable plan. In a statement shortly before the votes were counted, Mayor Steve Adler said the reinstated rules will take effect May 1st. The city is still moving ahead with its so-called HEAL initiative, which will prohibit encampments in certain areas after people living there are connected with housing. The city also recently laid out a plan to acquire 3,000 housing units for folks transitioning out of homelessness in the next 3 years. Well, in response to the strong mayor proposal being rejected, Ellen Wood, a spokesman for Restored Leadership ATX, said in a quote, "A broad and diverse coalition of Austinites overwhelmingly recognize that while advertised as transformative, progressive, and more democratic, Proposition F was anything but." She went on to say, "We believe that the significant issues Austin faces will be best addressed by effective leadership and more thoughtful policy, not by concentrating power into one person." The Austin City Council placed Prop F on the ballot after the Political Action Committee Austinites for Progressive Reform successfully circulated a petition for it and a slate of other items to come up for election. Campaign manager Jim Wick said that after he saw the wide variety and large numbers of groups that endorse against Prop F, they all but abandoned the campaign, choosing to focus their attention and dollars on the other propositions they bought. Prop F's failure means the city will remain its council manager form of government, in which an unelected city manager is the chief executive of the city. Under the current system, the only power distinct to the mayor is running city council meetings. When a strong mayor proposal was announced last year, it appeared that there was support in favor of adopting a local governing system similar to Houston and other major U.S. cities. However, it became clear soon as Austinites for Progressive Reform announced that they had signatures to place strong mayor on the ballot that many initial supporters had softened on the idea after learning about the mayor's veto power. Had it passed, the mayor would have the ability to veto any ordinance passed by the city council. A 2/3 majority would overturn the veto. Opponents said giving that much power to a single official would water down the district system that has pushed the Austin City Council to the left. Well, our last story for today, a 17th minute goal by Diego Figueres, his second in as many weeks, was enough to take 3 points on the road against a winless Minnesota United. It is the first time in the franchise history that United started the season with 3 consecutive losses. Austin FC holds 6 points out of 9 after 3 matches and is now on a 2-game winning streak. Captain of the team, Alex Rain, said, quote, "We'll enjoy this win today and probably tomorrow, but then we need to put it on the side." Ring went on to say, "Our focus will be on Kansas City and getting more points from that trip." We want to thank you so much for listening to the Big Three from the Bingham Group. We'd appreciate your comments, your likes, and your reshares, and make sure you follow this account right here for regular updates. We're going to see you Friday afternoon for our next Big Three segment.